off or something, if we can.
Okay.
Or a phone number.
This is more for like animals that are like taken in by our animal control.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
the contract. Only if
Under
an animal is picked up and taken over there.
Right.
That's for this one.
But I'd like to see this segue into something, further down to
Absolutely.
have control of that.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Okay, I have a motion, a second. Any more discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. And all opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Line number 10, discussion action to approve interlocal agreement between Tropical Texas Behavioral Health and the County of Willacy. Action required. And I think this one is.
Good afternoon. I know you all had some questions the last time we presented this. I reached out to Texas Tropical. They sent down Mr. Taylor. He can answer all your questions regarding the MOU with Texas Tropical. So I'll let Mr. Taylor explain if you all have any questions.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Appreciate this opportunity to offer any clarification we might need or might help move this agreement forward for further consideration. I have, based on initial feedback, I understand there were some questions about at what point would a fee or a charge be attached to a service provided or an attempted service provided. And I also noticed there was a little lack of clarity over specifically what service that the psychiatrist would be offering. So if it's okay, I have some revisions for you to pass out. I just indicated the revised language by the pencil marks on the bottom of page 1, and also I believe you see some markings on page 2 as well. And so essentially, Tropical Texas it has funding to provide, and within our scope, what we refer to as jail in-reach services. So we have case managers that come into the jail already. They are bachelor's level staff that are trained in behavioral health assessments. What you're seeing in front of you is an internal training document. So at the bottom where it says they don't have the updates and things, that red dot is for Tropical staff to notify each other with. But those staff will look at, through our records, the state record for any history of treatment of mental illness. So we can provide some evidence if the inmate has some history of mental illness. They can do a crisis risk assessment and provide the jail with recommendations. And some of those recommendations might be that individual or that inmate be examined, receive a psychiatric evaluation. If we're talking about a psychiatric evaluation, that requires a psychiatrist or an advanced nurse practitioner under the supervision of a psychiatrist. So just for clarity, I wanted just to kind of put the fence around the discussion, and the agreement is limited to the psychiatric services. So that's that physician, that's that medical doctor, and or advanced nurse practitioner that would be contracting in as the jail's provider of service, that we can provide that physician. We try to keep this as flexible and as minimal as possible. There's no obligation in this agreement for any minimum number of days that must be purchased or any minimum number of services that must be purchased by the county. No services is totally acceptable under this agreement, no obligation to that. It has, the rate was set at a level that is, truthfully, it's below our cost for what it takes to have a psychiatrist on board and available for these services. It's at $150 an hour. If we went to, or if anyone went to a private firm to secure those services, kind of a la carte, hour by hour services of a psychiatrist, we have to pay $195 an hour if Tropical needs to supplement our psychiatry time. So we're trying to be as lenient and as again, to keep it to a minimum, and at the same time meet our obligations for regulatory standards that prevent us from using one funding source's money to purchase services for another entity. So we have 54 some odd contracts currently for various services, and we have to keep our accounting very clean on whose money is going to pay for which services, so we have to account for this in some way. This agreement, well, let me just stop there. I've said a lot already. Is there any other information that would be helpful?
Yeah, I have one.
Sure.
Okay, so we already have an interlocal agreement with, Texas Tropical,
Yes, sir.
right? We've had that for years.
Right.
All right. Now, my second question is this mandatory by the state of Texas? What are county jails required to have in terms of psychiatrists and what have you?
If you recall when I showed you all the TA that was provided by Texas Commission on Jail Standards, it states that inmates, we must provide, because of the Sandra Bland Act, medical, dental, vision, and mental health assistance. So we do supply everything with the exception of mental health. Now, Texas Tropical, they're only evaluators. They're not anything based off of that. So we're kind of lacking the mental health assistance because we don't have it. And a PA that we use is not advanced. So we don't have, he only knows how to deal with medical issues, not mental issues. And a lot of these inmates, they come in with some sort of, they're bipolar, schizophrenic, and of course the doctor, we don't allow narcotics in the facility, so he can only go to a certain percentage of that.
Okay, so let's split the mental. So what is required as far as, because you mentioned that it's required on the mental side.
Right.
What is required within the mental to be provided?
This, and we're referring to the Texas Administrative Code, Title 37, Part 9 on the jail standards under health services. It is fairly broad. The Texas Administrative Code is fairly broad. It doesn't specify exactly what it means under mental health. It, I think, is purposefully general. What we provide already under our existing MOU is that case management service, that crisis screening, the preliminary screening activity to determine, is this somebody that's been seen for mental illness somewhere in the state? Do we have, it's probably somebody that Tropical may already be serving with one of our outpatient psychiatrists. Do we have meds on the shelf for this person? We can bring those meds to the facility if they can be administered by the appropriate medical personnel of the facility. But the license, the difference, and I appreciate the utility of that question, let's split the mental health, is that psychiatry is beyond the scope of that standard agreement between Health and Human Services of Texas and the Texas Jail Commission. That agreement has been arranged where the LMHA, Local Mental Health Authority, Tropical, will provide a crisis screening, a crisis assessment, and a recommended level of care required to stabilize that mental health condition. That's what those bachelor's level screeners are in doing. If you have a defense attorney that identifies a potential concern, or anybody else that identifies a concern for legal competency, that's not something that Tropical has a program in place for. We're looking for grant funding to start developing that and expanding it. Having a psychiatrist, however, provide and many of our crisis assessments are going to recommend a psychiatric evaluation at the earliest opportunity. Having a psychiatrist available to do that can then inform judges, defense, and prosecuting attorneys as to the mental condition of that inmate and move that forward. But back to your question, the split is between those screening and assessment services, those initial needs identification, from giving the individual mental health treatment in the form of psychiatric medications to stabilize their psychiatric condition.
This is Senate Bill 18.9, and it is for jail safety, right? That's what it requires for them to have 24 hour access to mental health providers.
Well, that's what I'm getting at.
We already have that.
We already had that.
What
I don't want, and I'm not
this is above and beyond.
trying to be, should I say, irresponsible in any way. But what I don't want to happen, we know that, and I think we've had conversations with Texas Tropical, that the state has an issue, right? Where inmates, a lot of inmates, have mental health issue. And we have inmates waiting for the so-called beds.
Forensic beds, yes, sir.
Well, and so, if we open the door to actually treat those individuals in our county jail, we're not gonna be able to afford it. And that's what I'm getting at, is I would like us to differentiate between what's mandated in terms of the responsibility of our county jail versus what's needed for the inmates, which is, we all agree at different levels of government that the need is there, and we just don't have the means to be able to facilitate them with what they need. Right? So I want us to have those discussions, because I don't want to
Sure.
open the door and not being able to close it
I
there.
understand, and I appreciate that caution, and careful use of scarce resources is on top of all of our list, and I certainly respect that. There's included in that balance would be an individual that is clearly very psychotic in the jail, cannot be processed through the legal system, and therefore is stuck in that cell. And we've had individuals in the valley that have been in their cells without psychiatric care that can't stand trial and will be in that jail cell 3 times longer than their maximum allowable sentence would have been had they been found guilty, but they can't be adjudicated at all because of their mental condition. So there's the absence of mental health care, even just a little bit of medication in the jail can make all the difference in being able to process people and get them out of those jail cells and off of that expense out to a community setting where the care is much less expensive for the public to absorb. And that once they get out of jail, they are in Tropical's hands for outpatient treatment. So it's not an easy assessment to make in terms of where and how much mental health care to provide. And when we say mental health, I appreciate that. Let me go back to your guidance, Judge, to split that. Let's look more clearly at the different pieces of mental health care. What we're talking about with this agreement is having a doctor capable of doing a 1-hour examination with a patient and recommending medications, being able to stabilize that individual so they can stand trial and then process, hopefully out of jail back into the community. And to do so in a way that is at an absolute minimum burden financially and procedurally to the county. Again, under the Jail Standards Act, the jail is responsible for provision of all medical, dental, and mental health care services. Arguably, the mental health care services that are coming in under the existing MOU that we've had for a long time, that's helping to offset some of those costs that might otherwise be on the shoulders of the county to face.
And I appreciate that. Yes.
And I'm not trying to sell this. It doesn't. This is going to add a little bit of cost to our annual operating budget from just a business perspective. Setting that aside, it is my opinion. It's in the best interest of our community to get these folks through. I don't want to be coarse with my language, but the symptoms of individuals in our jail cells, and I'm familiar with a couple of them currently in the Willacy facility, that the symptoms are heartbreaking, and a little bit of medication can turn that and stabilize it to a point where they can get somewhere else. And yes, the forensic bed issue is something we continue to press and push for more of. The folks that are facing criminal charges that need that inpatient psychiatric care to stabilize, no doubt that waiting list is months and months long.
Then the other question that came up with it, and this is a hard, I know it's a moving target.
Sure.
As to the, as you know how counties operate, and that's through budgets, is to have an idea, right, as to the cost of this. And I know it's hard because it's going to be where you might have more at sometimes individuals that require this medication to stabilize, and at other times you'll have less, right?
Right.
So I know it's hard to gauge, but I just didn't want to kind of open the door to something.
Understood.
That we won't be, I don't want to bite more than we could chew.
Well, I get the serving utensils are in your hands, if I could use that analogy. That this agreement is structured that leaves it in the jail's discretion on when to pick up the phone and request one of these services. It doesn't obligate, an evaluation happening today doesn't obligate another one tomorrow or the next day. It will give you a recommendation. It will give the jail and indirectly the county a recommendation for that particular inmate. And we're cautious about that. We don't want to pin anybody in a corner. But this is not, there's no required minimum amount of service. We got a call, and I think the conversation just, and I want to be respectful of time, certainly, but the agreement first took form because there was one individual that needed 1 or 2 appointments. And we had a doctor that was available to see the person, but without an agreement, that doctor might as well be practicing off his back porch because it's outside of what is covered by Tropical Texas. So just having a little bit of an agreement in place allows us to send a physician if you guys ask for one, send a psychiatrist if you ask for one, but it's if and only if it's requested, and then it's at mutually convenient times to try to optimize how and when that happens.
This is a 1-year agreement, Jim?
It's a 1 year with an option to extend, to renew for 2 additional years, total of 3. But there's a 60-day out clause, and we can change that to a 30-day out clause if you want. It's mutual written notification by either party to the other party with 30, or with right now with 60 days. It's on page 2 under section 3, first paragraph. So it's if something needs to get redone or something's not satisfactory, it unrolls at 60, within 60, or we'll change it to 30, we could.
So just to be clear, we talked about this last time. We are currently compliant with jail standards according to 1622.
Yes,
Kind of
yes,
like
yes, we are in compliance, but because of the law, because remember, it used to be 72 hours to report, now it's 12 hours. We're starting to see a lot more inmates coming in with mental health issues. We talked about the state hospital waiting. We're still waiting. We're looking at bed space at 800, 900 numbers based on the qualifications of what inmates going to what facility. Meanwhile, these inmates are sitting in our cells, refusing to take medication, getting a lot more combative, spoiled. I mean, their cells
refusing to take medication. Mm-hmm. What medication?
Whatever the doctor prescribed, we try to provide it. They won't refuse it because they refuse to take it. But I believe with this MOU, correct me if I'm wrong, we can work with the judge and do a court-ordered medication on the offender, so we can provide him the right medication to bring him back to normality. But we do have these inmates that will refuse. And when they refuse, they get more aggressive, more violent. There's more time to watch these inmates because the suicidal tendencies start coming up. And we have a couple like that, where we have to watch more what we're doing.
What's obvious is there's a need, and as long as we're meeting the standards and we try to get better, but it's something the judge brought up, is this supported by your sheriff and your administration?
Yes.
Because we had budget workshops, and this all goes to a budget. It's going to cost some money. I didn't see any mention about this in any of the requests, unless I missed it. Did y'all see it, Judge?
No. I think I might be out of turn here. You've been here. This is your 3rd time.
Second time.
Second time.
Second time. Okay. Was the chair with you one of these times?
No.
I wanted to be fair to the chair, but he has not been here.
Not for this. But he is fully aware. He knows what's going on. He's very supportive to this. That we do need it. I do brief him of activities going on, but again, it's an ongoing thing. I mean, every day we have to do with something to do with mental health.
And we've been there. It's statewide.
Right.
It's an issue. Definitely is. Let me ask you this, and I want to ask it kind of. I don't know the answer to the question, and I'm leery about asking. Do you have these similar MOUs in place with any of the other counties?
We
With
do
Cameron or
with,
Hidalgo?
we do with both Cameron and Hidalgo. For both counties, we have it for youth psychiatry. For Hidalgo, we have it for adult inmates, adult psychiatry for inmates in their adult facilities. Cameron chooses to go with a different psychiatric provider to fulfill that obligation for their adult mental health care, and doesn't go through Tropical, but we do provide the psychiatry for their juvenile detention facilities.
Esther, what?
Hester, Daryl Hester, there's a boot camp, there's, I forget the name of the one in Hidalgo. Ramirez.
Obviously, they're a good 5 to 10 times bigger than we are, so it's understandable.
Sure,
They'll have some of that on staff.
sure.
Pending review.
Yeah, pending review there.
Judge, it'd be my recommendation to approve this agreement and with a couple of, with the modifications, changing the out clause from 60 to 30 days, and pending legal review.
I've reviewed the one that had already been submitted. There's been some minor changes to it, but nothing substantive, except changing out the 30 days. That would be the only thing.
And we had brought something up, yeah, we had some more changes.
It's just a little more thorough.
We have an estimated cost, and where it's going to come from.
The ones on the previous one.
It's 150 an hour, right?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, in terms of, where it's gonna come from.
I took it down, I'm sorry to interrupt. I split that down to the nearest 30 minutes. So it's not 1 hour chunks as would be customary with most contract providers.
And,
The evaluation typically takes an hour. I mean, if you're gonna do a thorough evaluation, it should take an hour.
An eval's an hour, and that there's also some language added to the agreement that describes the psychiatric evaluation, generally 30 minutes, and the follow-up appointment after that, in 1 to 2 weeks, they want to follow up, see how they're doing on the medication. That's usually 30 or 20 to 30.
Here's, to answer the other question, it will come from the line item of medical, which the jail has that line item, which is either the highest or the line item with the most, or pretty close to it. Am I correct?
That's where any other evaluations is coming out of already. This would
Yes.
just be an additional
This is
cost that could potentially be coming out.
And I can tell you that throughout the years, as you know, budgets are targeted or created based on history of the first, second, or even the third year going back. Is on that particular line item is very hard to pinpoint. With this, it's gonna make it even harder, but nonetheless, that's where we come from that line item. Where it includes all medication, the trips to the hospital, right, all of that. That's where it would come from.
And if I saw in here, you would be doing the telehealth option
Right.
with this one to reduce the need to.
Reduces the time commitment and therefore the cost.
And we already have the system set up, we just need to and I talked to the IT personnel, we just need to go in there and, because we're having some internet issues, and that's it, but if everything's set up, ready to go.
So we just clear this, Commissioner De La Paz, I apologize to you, Commissioner, is that he did put that in form of a motion.
I put that
So
in
we have
form
a
of
motion on the floor.
Yes, sir.
Did you get that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, can I entertain a second? Second by Commissioner Rivera. Any more discussion? Okay, I'm sorry.
No, that was it, Judge,
No.
just that I had already reviewed it. There's just some minor changes, but nothing substantive to it. There's more explanation, clarification, if you will. So I think it would just be a matter of changing out the 30 days, and I think that's something that sounded acceptable. So if they can just send that to me, I'll send them an email so they can send that the contract to me and I'll.
This is more basically to Mr. Chief Cortez is just to make sure. I mean, I don't know who's going to have the authority to enact this, but we need to. I don't have policy.
We're going to be looking at first if we have an inmate comes in, they're going to be automatically evaluated by Texas Tropical, and like we always do the triage, and then if there's a need, then Texas Tropical is going to be called in and they'll do a crisis assessment on it.
So make sure we're keeping track of.
So we're keeping track of doing
that. We know exactly.
And we'll go based on what they're recommending. Of course, we might even have them see the doctor, but again. That's one issue we have because sometimes the doctor comes in every Wednesday, he only sees 5 patients. So we have to prioritize what's going on. And if the doctor wants to see him, then we'll try to deal with it at lab level. If we can't, then of course, maybe go with a psychiatrist. But some of them are we're gonna have to go with psychiatrists. Like one of our inmates said, this is his 3rd trip going to the state hospital. He gets out, he gets in trouble, he's not competent, because not medications, we gotta send him out again. So he's 900 and something right now in the bed space.
And that happens all over the state.
All over.
Yeah.
And it's happened here.
We have conversations about that almost every conference of judges that I go to.
You know, we continue to look for other grants and funding sources to add resources to this effort generally. So that's something, one of them we have access to would help with technology. If there's an issue with the internet connection and telehealth equipment, ask me first before you think about buying some for the facility itself. I believe we can provide that if that's necessary, designated funding source, and then others. It is, and particularly in Willacy County, and we're hopeful. We've applied for a grant that should help. I haven't heard back on that one yet, but we will bring every resource to Willacy that we can to help.
Appreciate
to help this.
Okay, so any more discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye. And opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Judge.
Line number 12, discussion action to approve contract for William Westerberg and risk managers U.S. as insurance consultant for fiscal year 2024-2025. Commissioner, this is period improvement here. Improvement, help me out here. Is this yearly?
This is a yearly contract. It gets paid from the self-funded insurance monthly. There is an increase in his rate from $2,500 a month to $3,000.
Okay. Commissioners, as Mr. Cavazos alluded to, this is part of the insurance program that we have, right? Meaning that it's not specific to any line item in our budget, because it's what we do is we pay X amount for each employee, right? And this is a part of that cost that Ruben's alluding to. What I can assure you is that we're not going to increase the amount, at least not now or in the foreseen future, increase the amount due to this increase of, what did you say, 25 to 3,000? 2,500 to 3,000.
3,000.
I think that Westerberg has been with us since 2008, has done a good job. Right? Yeah, we've had our good years and our bad years, but we've come to learn that this is part of the system pertaining to health insurance. Well, our health insurance program is healthy, and we'll continue to make changes as we go along by recommendations of Rustenberg and through the insurance committee, which has been very instrumental in keeping our costs down and our insurance pool healthy. So right now we got no issues.
The other entities also offset his fee. They contribute to the whole.
Oh, yeah, the other tax entities, yes, so that's right. You contribute to also his cost as an insurance consultant.
Are you on the committee, Mr. Carter?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Glad to see somebody here from.
Yeah, I was gonna say, in the future, I think here probably pretty soon, I would also like to see more of the committee, especially this one, be represented by the precincts. Meaning that, I would like to appoint somebody on the insurance committee to kind of keep us in the loop of some of the changes that are happening prior to us coming to having to make a decision. I think that's important. I mean, don't get me wrong, that there's a lot of great individuals, but there's a lot of some changes that have happened and that has affected some of the employees of the county. By the time we knew it was already here. It was already done. So, but we'll get with you. I'll get with you, and if the commission agrees, then that might be a change that could be coming.
No problem.
Do they get appointed or?
Well, my suggestion would be that you appoint somebody out of your own precinct, somebody that you feel you can work with. That forget they would be appointed.
Yeah, the other is, at the other end is, with the adjustment we made with the budget, with the, what is it, benefit coordinator, hopefully we'll have, and I know your comment is different in the insurance company, but hopefully, that benefit coordinator would also be able to communicate more, right? For those means, but I totally agree with representation. Just in the community. Absolutely.
So move to approve, Judge.
I have a motion by Commissioner De La Paz. Can I entertain a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Garcia. Any more discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 13, discussion and action to amend Willacy County investment policy to include Cresta Advisors as an approved registered investment advisor for Willacy County as per Government Code Section 2256.03. Commissioner, this has to do with investing.
Yes, sir.
To make our money make money.
Correct. The next two items are also connected. I didn't know to include them all as one item or separate them, but it was amending the investment policy to allow Cresta Advisors to be our financial advisor. And I submitted the investment policy to you. That was the only change I added in there. And I also added on the last page. I added language for the ability to invest the public funds if we prefer it there.
What's different? I'm sorry.
That was to invest the money from the PFC as well.
Oh, yes. Yeah, we had discussions on
Yes.
that. For what?
Did we agree on the dollar amount, Ruben?
No, we're going to work with the auditor to. We're starting off smaller than initially we had proposed.
Where did you add on the PFC?
Oh, it was on page 11? No, 12.
And on that, Mr. Mills, I take it that Commissioner's Court approved that, and then the board of the PFCs approved as well. Would you say that's probably how.
And the only thing I would add is, whoever makes the motion, to add at the end of that where it says the government code, and to include public facility corporation revenue funds, because that's not on the agenda. So that way you're amending it to include, Cresta Advisors as well as the addition of the public facility corporation revenue funds. That would be the changes to the policy. Since it wasn't in there before.
All right, and of course that would include all of the county accounts, leaving the PFCs aside, or include the road and bridge accounts.
Correct.
Can I entertain a motion to approve, to include the PFCs?
Move to approve.
Okay, I have a motion by Commissioner Garcia, can I entertain a second?
Second.
Commissioner La Paz, you got that, Lizzie?
Judge, I was gonna ask you, this is the one we're talking about, that you're gonna reinvest money from the precincts as well? or what?
Yes, sir.
And that this includes all the precincts?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's what I asked. He says that it includes, road and bridge as well. But on the motion, Commissioner, added, including the PFCs. Then what we need to do is when we have a PFC board meeting, we'll
You have to,
we'll
take that.
take it for a vote. Because I don't think, if the board doesn't approve it, we can't move forward with it. On the PFCs. What's that?
Correct. This just changes your policy so that you can do it, but it still requires,
Okay, so I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, same sign, motion carried. Okay, let's see. Item number 14, discussion act to authorize Willacy County Treasurer and Willacy County Judge to execute all documents and contracts with Cresta Advisors.
That's just the advisory agreement. I do have the physical one here to sign.
You all had signed this, so we'll see what.
Are you were sent, right?
yeah, it is.
Okay, so let's see.
That's
So, yeah, 14, so can I entertain a motion to approve?
So move to approve, Judge?
Second, Judge.
I have a motion by Commissioner La Paz, second by Commissioner Tijerina. Any more discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, we go to line number 15, discussion act to authorize Willacy County Treasurer to open bank account at the Bank of New York, the custodial bank of Cresta Advisors, where assets are held. All right.
That's just opening, that's where the investment money will be.
And just to clarify, for record purposes, we did have a detailed presentation of Cresta Advisors a few weeks back. Okay, so I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, Honorable Judge and County Commissioners. It's a pleasure to be in your presence again. I just want to say thank you so much for believing in us and allowing us to work with not only Willacy County, but the Treasurer and your Auditor. We're excited to start serving Willacy County. And as the judge said, for your money to make money, God willing. So we're excited to move forward. Any questions that you have, Ruben has my personal cell phone at your service anytime. Whenever you need us for anything, we look to a good and healthy relationship with the county. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I make the motion and Mario second.
Got it? Number 16, discussion and approval of workforce solution, work experience / standardized, subsidized employment agreement between Workforce Solutions and the Willacy County District Attorney's Office. Action required. This is the same program that we engage every year.
Yes, Judge, I've had an individual working with me and that my grant funds for that is going to run out. And so I'm checking to see if the workforce can help us with picking that up, and it looks like they can. So it would start October 1, but it would be at no cost for the county. It's similar to, I think, there's quite a few departments that have used it, Judge, as well.
I have a motion by Commissioner Tijerina to approve. Can I entertain a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner.
No, you're fine.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Line item number 17, discussion action to make contribution to the Raymondville Chamber of Commerce for advertisement on tourism directory. Action required. We have Ms. Alma.
Good afternoon. So I'm going to give you a sample of what we've done in the past. We've, of course, been closed down for over 4 years, so we haven't done one over the past year. This will be our first one. You want this one? I have a box of them. It's funny. Oh no, this is mine. I can't give you this one. Sorry, that's my notes. Anyway.
I'm kidding.
Anyway, good afternoon. It's the first time that the chamber comes to see you in 5 years for money, so I expect like a fantastic yes. But anyway, putting that aside, this booklet that you see, we haven't had it for a while, but this is pretty much what represents our city, county, general areas. We do, in the past, I think I put that piece of paper and the ones that you guys have approved. It's always been the courthouse and something else. And I think one of them was the Coastal Land Resource Center. And then some of you may have the one that has the safe room. So you have the fees in that little piece of paper I gave you. And you've averaged 2 pages each time you've done it. So it's been at a cost of about $1,000. It's $500 a page. They can be changed. I know if you want to highlight the courthouse again, we will need some of the new fantastic news that are coming up on it, and I don't know who I can get that from, but I know that now we've got the restoration funded and whatnot, so I think it would be something great to highlight, but of course it's up to you guys what you want to highlight. It can also be done by highlighting each small community, and but we do that anyway. We mention our Sada line, for example, throughout the book in different places. So
this is great. We've missed this. It's been a while.
I know we have to.
I see the celebrity golf tournament. I want to know when that's coming up again.
Yes, it's coming up again. Actually, it's going to be a dark. What's it called?
Divots in the dark.
Divots in the dark. Thank you.
Divots in the dark.
Divots in the dark. So it's golfing in the evening.
Okay. What do you? I mean, Judge, how much what are you looking for? What are you asking? I guess.
I'm asking for at least what you've done in the past, which has been a couple of pages, which has been a cost of $1,000, and that gives you 2 full pages. Now, like I said, there's stories in there are going to be in there about different things anyway, but that's one way to let you have something tangible for your money. But it does, if you notice, the 2 different books they're done different each year. But our stories honestly don't change. It's just that, where there's updates to them, and when we didn't have a safe room, then we got one. But we highlight the schools, we highlight all 4 county schools, we highlight our hotels, we highlight anything that says come shopping. We're gonna have pages that say shops of Raymondville and Willacy County, because we have shops now, I'm just saying, we have a few. I know the school has been real supportive. They do about 3 or 4 pages, and they have a lot to brag about, all the different schools. So it's just my way to give people something tangible. Everybody says everything should be on the internet, and it is, but people like to hang on to something that they can have.
Where do you plan to distribute these?
We will have them at the travel center. Then they'll go throughout our different hotels, doctors' offices, businesses. Definitely, there'll be some people that will advertise. They'll all get some, any event that we have, any festival that we have. But right now, when you go to a hotel, you see little bits in the drawers. We don't have anything, so we needed to. The first year was about building, and now it's about making it better. So here we go.
So Emma, what's your goal? How many are you gonna print?
I believe we're going to print 35,000. Sorry, 35,000 that we print. And I did find a box that we had left from, I guess, the very last one that she did. So at least, well, by now it's 5.5 years ago. That so apparently we got rid of all of them, and we distributed all of them. We'll put them in packets. We do them in anything that, any event that we have. So. I don't know what the cover page will be because it takes a lot of thinking. It has to be cute, but it also has to be, needs to talk about who we are. And it might be just a collage, actually, of different things. And if any of y'all, I'm going to go see Lyford too. And
how much is to put Commissioner's Court right here? What is it, County Commissioner's Court? The picture.
The pictures, $5,000.
$5,000? I'm going to approve.
Good. Okay. I'm going to do 2 books here another way. 10 copies for him and no.
I'm just curious.
So you're gonna have to withdraw that motion because it's part of the record now. They have to consider it.
Right. I'm gonna power PG. Yeah, be nice that they're coming here for here.
No, I'd like to, the staple of our community, our courthouse, we're gonna remodel it. Front page.
And I only work under pressure and deadlines. So they want my stories by the 20th. So I can create the stories if you give me the subject you want me to highlight. I mean, I can come back and get individual information from you guys, but if they don't give me a deadline, then
you won't get in trouble.
I'll get in trouble. Oh, that. We're being recorded. Now we can. Now, if y'all want to take the other page to highlight your commissioners and whatever, I mean, you're welcome to do that. I think there was one year, and I think this year we're actually going to highlight our board and our ambassadors.
I saw the board directors.
Yeah, I think that was about 5 years ago. I never did it when I was on, but she was able to do it. So but that's a good idea.
So minimum, so it's $1,000.
No, I mean, you can do one page for 500. We can just do the courthouse page, or we can do one page. It's up to you guys. And it will not be billed until after October 1st.
We can do the board manager.
We can do the 2-page. Obviously, this is something that's beneficial and something that's big for the Chamber of Commerce to be coming to participate with as much as we can. And if we start with where we took off or left off, then we should be okay. The other is that if we do have the courthouse, maybe we can have, I don't think that's a bad idea, Commissioner, to have, I was looking at the Greenville School, right? They have, I don't don't see the board here, but staff, I think that's staff. But anyway, we
Yeah,
can come up with something that makes sense.
Absolutely, take a,
Then
we
the
did,
other-
one year we did do a kind of a group picture, but it was a small group picture, so.
The other that comes to mind is maybe we can also have, the community center. And I know that, we have a community center in La Sala, we have one in San Felipe, belonging to the city, and so forth. And it also might be something that we can consider.
That would be good.
In short notice, right? This is more so that people know that we're, you know, our efforts, right? And what we're, working on.
It was just
And you have something new that used to be the Martin Cavazos Center, that's also something else that's new,
No,
right now?
it used to be, Head Start
Oh,
meetings.
okay.
Yeah, and we have had different, I mean, I'm very pleased with the many different events that have transpired here in the past 2 years that we've had a lease agreement with Niños, right? We're now thinking and considering purchasing it, right? It's gotta be the right price. But anyway, that community needed something like that. And the other good news is that we have been utilizing it, right? It's just not a building that sits there. So I think that would make sense. And I don't know how I know this is to promote businesses and what have you, right? But
Well, it is, but it's also to highlight what we have, because a lot of.
Tourism.
Monday?
Tourism.
And tourism is one of the highlights, the other is also for community information. You know, it'll have our business list on there, but also, honestly, you know, Lasada, like you said, a lot of people know about the Lasada Community Center, and it's in San Pedro, but I know you have that one. Is there anything does Lyford have a community center of sorts? No? Okay. I mean, anything, it'll be your call, you know. And then what I'll do is, I don't know when you want to discuss it, or you have to discuss it now, as to what you put in there, then I'll, you know, come back. What I just need right now to know is the space, and you want to do.
Promote department within the county, like the veterans, you know, we just have.
Oh, that's,
And the veterans,
that's-
Texas A&M, who else do we have? Texas Behavioral Health that we house. I mean, these organizations.
even some of the renderings of the center coming up over there in the 100 years.
Yeah.
Provide the rendering coming soon.
well, we did a coming soon for the Coastal Resource Center before I came in. So I kind of,
Right.
you know,
Use it, man.
Mhm.
That's a good idea.
So, Judge, I'll make a motion to purchase 2 pages,
okay?
minimum 2 pages.
I have a motion by Commissioner De La Paz
Second.
to approve 2 pages, and second by Commissioner Garcia.
I may have missed it all out, but when does this come out?
They should have it for us by mid-October.
Mid-October?
It should be, yeah.
Wow.
I'm gonna be working very hard.
You need to add the fund.
Huh?
You need to add the fund for, okay, where it's coming from.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, Cassie, do you recall where it came from before? Was it community involvement?
Community involvement.
I think that's where it was. Yeah. We're gonna have a budget workshop right after this, so I'll make sure that we have it there.
Is there a second?
Yes.
I second it.
You wanna make a motion to mention where it comes from?
Funded from the same fund?
From the community involvement, get the fund from the community involvement fund?
Okay,
have an amended motion, can I have an amended second?
I amend my second to include that from community involvement fund.
Any more discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, same sign, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And now, do you want me to come back next week and get confirmation as to, I'll give you a call before, and then you'll tell me what we're gonna write about,
All right,
okay?
yes.
That'll work? Y'all-
Yes, and I'll get it with Jessica and see what we can come up with.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Item number 18, approved to obligate $412.84 for ARPA project number 2488 for computer/technology for elections department for the American Rescue Plan Act Fund 114, ARPA and/or Local Assistance and Tribal Consistency Fund LATCF, depending on funding available at the time. Okay. So this one, we're gonna obligate the $412.84.
Yes, sir. All it was, sir, is that we already approved the purchase, so this is just coming back to obligate. It was over budget, that's the technology for the election department. So therefore, this is just to abide by federal guidelines. I had to bring it back, just to obligate it.
I remember now.
Thank you.
Can I entertain a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Yeah, Commissioner Rivera. Entertain a second. Second by Commissioner Tejeda. Any more discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, same sign, motion carries. Item number 19, discussion item to approve cooperative agreement with the Food Bank of Rio Grande Valley Distributions, is set for April 24, 2024 for the Sebastian Community Center and Sebastian residents. I rest my case.
Yes, there you go. So, they approached me about a month ago. By they, I mean the food bank and the current location where it's being distributed at, which is a local church. And they had been kind of, there's a little bit to it. So they asked for our help, and I think I brought it up, talked to you about it, and it's coming through to fruition fairly quickly. We're going to have the first distribution or food drive set for September the 24th. There at the Sebastian Community Center at 434 8th Street, West 8th Street. It'll be it'll start up around 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. I think this is a great opportunity to continue doing this. Right now, the food bank is helping out the entire county in Lasada, and Chaparrita, Lyford, Rainville, and we didn't want to lose Sebastian. So we kind of stepped up, and we're going to utilize that community center for that. So I want to make sure run it through the board and see if y'all are good with that. So I move to approve.
I have a motion by Commissioner Garcia to approve.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Tejeda. Any more discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carries. Line item number 20, discussion and action to approve a change order number 2 for Texas Water Development Board FIF project number 40048 Rural Spur Detention Pond project in the amount of $45,100 action required.
Judge, this is our project here. Let me see, let me get the right name on it. 40048, the Rubber Detention Pond here at the spur. A lot of people have noticed there's a lot of excavation, a lot of dirt removed out of there, and this is I believe the second change order. This one's a little bit more. It's to the tune of $45,100. And just to set the record straight, we still have $456,879 left, and they came well within budget. And they're basically going to clean up the outfall. They're going to put an apron in there, but they have to put a lot of riprap rock all in there to strengthen it. Right there along Washington Street, lost orders around Washington. And I predict there's going to be a couple more changes that have to come through by the time we finish it. But I would imagine it's probably about 80% completed.
Yeah.
That's it.
I took a look at it this morning. I mean, it's taking shape. It's looking.
Yes, it's taking shape.
Nice.
It's going to help out some people in that area, and that's because the intake's not opened up yet. Fixing to put that in, and then of course there's other things we'll have to approach later on for safety. Our precinct took the initiative. We posted no trespassing signs and danger construction zone all around it because of the depth of that pond. So anyway.
So what's left over along the railroad, the concrete and all that, that's what they're gonna use?
Yeah, they're going to utilize some of the riprap, rock, rubble, concrete that we already have. They're going to utilize that.
Oh, okay.
But of course, they still got to move it, so they're going to charge to move it from one to the other and set it in. It's going to be nice that little inlet there.
Okay.
So, but we're still within budget.
We're well within budget. We got some money left.
So move to approve, Judge?
Motion by Commissioner De La Paz, second by Commissioner Tejeda. Any more discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And number 21, request permission to install a new water meter location of proposed service line is approximately 2,740 feet west from northwest corner of Dahlia Road and County Road 315 north, 3/4 inch meter to 1.5 inch water line, precinct 3, action required.
Judge, I spoke to Robert, and we're well within our means in this area. One of the requests I made was just to make sure that we paved this road, part of a section of this road. So I didn't want to make sure that we don't break the road, but everything aligned with where the water lines are at. So we're not going to have to do anything like that. So I just need a motion for approval.
So move to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Tejeda, second by Commissioner Garcia. Any more discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Line number 23, request permission to extend a 4-inch water line from northwest corner of County Road 2400, Lupine Road, and County Road 140, Valdez Road, go north on west side of County Road 140, Valdez Road, approximately 2,220 feet. Bore west to east, 2-inch PVC casing, 3/4 inch meter service installation. 4-inch water line extension will be on a 5 feet alignment of 4 feet deep, 40 feet right of way, precinct 4, action required.
Yes, sir, this is a new line extension from Lupine all the way to those 5-acre tracts that they have out there. They haven't had water for a while. I guess some of the owners got together and they were paying the I don't know how they did it, but they're paying their difference just for them to get it out there. I don't know if anybody else is gonna be able to tap into it.
I don't know. It's right on the line. It's pushing for.
Yeah, this is on the west side of Valdez. And then they'll be boring it back across to the east side once they get to the end.
So move to approve this.
Second, motion by Commissioner Tejeda, second by Commissioner Garcia. Any more discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Going back to line item number 22, request permission to install a new water meter from County Road 315 on Dahlia Road, go east 1,670 feet in the south side of Dahlia Road. From that point going east, 4-inch line extension of 220 feet, 3/4 inch meter service at the end. And 4-inch water line will be placed on the 5 feet alignment of the 40 feet right of way, 4 feet deep, precinct 3, action required.
Judge, this is also along the lines as the previous item on 21. Water line falls on the right way where the water lines run. We're not going to break the road. So make a motion to approve. I need a motion to approve.
So moved to approve.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Tejeda, second by Commissioner Garcia. Any more discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Line number 24, request permission to install a 3/4 inch meter service to an existing 4-inch water line approximately 75 feet north from the northeast corner of Wells Street and 8th Street. This will be line side, precinct 1 that's required.
Then one judge, I'll talk to Robert. Everything, green light, so much approved.
Motion by Commissioner Rivera, second by Commissioner Tejeda. Any more discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Not opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Line number 25. Request approval of family partition of the lands of Betty Jean Lopez, a 4-tract family partition located in the northwest corner of County Road 3300, Range Road, and Expressway 77 South Frontage Road, Precinct 2. Action required.
Mr. I've got with Mr. Salinas, everything's, ready to go.
Alright, can I entertain a motion to approve?
Approval.
Motion by Commissioner Rivera, second by Commissioner Garcia. Any more discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Line number 26, approval of monthly reports. And I don't know if we have them ready. I don't think so. And I want to say that, Cassie, did we wind up putting this on Thursday? For Thursday, do you know? Number 26.
The monthly reports.
I think Maria Carmen said that they won't be ready, but there was a discussion about whether we could have on Thursday, and the conclusion was yes, we could, but I haven't seen it. But needless to say, they're not ready now.
They're gonna be ready. I thought you, the claims and everything.
So,
We can just table that
Pero que
one.
tienen la agenda,
so can
the claims and the,
table,
for the claims, I know about the claims.
okay, so we're gonna table the monthly reports. They're not ready.
No, se me hace que lo puedes.
But regardless if it's there or not, Cassie come up to that, not ready. Are they there?
They're probably on Thursday, no, Judge?
Yeah.
Más que tienen la agenda. You think they have ready for Thursday? Huh? Or pongo just in case they have.
No.
Why, yeah?
You'd have to post a
72
meeting by
Yeah,
this
but
afternoon.
post it as a regular meeting or on Thursday, so we can approve the claim.
I know, but
Well, if we approve the claim, we can approve the other stuff. They're the same thing.
No, the claims are just like whatever bills we have outstanding, the reports are
But
just
it gotta
like
go
how
to
much
Commissioner's
taxes
court.
and everything else have come in.
But it's gotta go to community.
It does, it should. But
So if that's gonna, well, I mean, we don't have to put the report, but then we just, my concern is the claims. So we can pay out the invoices.
that report is usually, we talked about getting the report from like the tax office before, you know.
But that was done on the first of the month, meeting. Que será esta? But if they're not ready, it can be on next month.
Or the meeting later this month.
Yeah.
The one on.
Yeah,
this year.
yeah,
As long
that's
as it's
true.
approved this month.
But as long as we can,
Can you make a note
approve
of
the
that, Cassie?
claims.
Yes.
We didn't have any outstanding that needed to get paid.
No, cause I did my claims last week, because I asked Carmen.
The claims will be on for this Thursday.
Yes.
This Thursday, we will
Oh,
approve the
okay.
claims. These are just the monthly reports, usually
Yeah.
it's like the tax.
Yeah,
report,
we
stuff
can
like
approve them the next
that.
meeting.
Yeah, next meeting.
Alright,
Yeah.
so can I entertain a motion to table?
Table approval of monthly.
A motion by Commissioner Tejeda, second. Second by Commissioner Garcia. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
No, opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Approval of travel request.
Yes, there's 4 of them. Travel request for Willacy County Sheriff's Investigators Sandra Camargo and David Quintana to attend the Crime Scene Plumbing Conference in Southside Island, Texas on September 29th through October 1st, 2024. Travel request for County Clerk Susan R. Garber and Chief Deputy Elizabeth Rios to attend the Region 8 Fall Conference in Kingsville, Texas on October 2nd through 3rd, 2024. Our request for DC Judge Rudy Campbell, Judge Juan Salinas, and clerks Luis Mequez, Fort Montes, and Nadia Perez to attend the South Texas Justice of the Peace and Constables Association in South Carter Island, Texas, on November 12th to the 15th, 2024. Our request for Extension Agent Rodina Macias to attend the District 12 Fall Faculty Conference in Weslaco, Texas, on September 24th to 26th, 2024.
Okay, Commissioner, special note that, with the exception of number 4, which is September 24th to the 26th, that was gonna fall in this year's budget. But the one on the, women's, crime against women, September 29th to October, August, the fee for the conference is gonna fall in this year, but regardless, I think we're safe to approve, which means that this will be the last for this year on travel and things.
And Judge, and I think, so for that crimes against women, I don't think there's an overnight. I think they're going and coming each day.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, I don't believe there's an
It's not
overnight.
that bad.
So the only other thing would be the per diem, the meals.
Yeah, we should have enough left to cover that.
Need a motion?
Yes, sir.
So move to approve, Judge.
And I motion by Commissioner Tijerina to approve the travel and training.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Garcia. Any more discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Line item number 28, approval of treasurer's report. Mr. Rubin is here to delight us with the numbers.
There was nothing significant in the treasurer's report, just monthly interest earned and the checking accounts and the investment accounts.
We had a brief discussion on the health insurance.
Yes, sir.
Can you find it just so we can have an idea?
Like the balance?
Yes.
It's, it's 1.3 million for the month of ending August 31st.
Then there's any others that. Okay, we're good. Alright. Any motion to approve?
So move to approve.
I have a motion by Commissioner Tijerina to approve the treasury report. Can I entertain a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner La Paz. Any more discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Oye, no, ¿por qué te volteas así de no?
Approve of tax collectors report.
I
think it
can't,
was
and
once
you know, I go like this, and then
Is
it
he-
comes the other way.
There was a tax collector report submitted.
I
don't
don't
see
it.
Kathleen, was there a tax collector? Oh, it's
Yes,
answered
there was.
right
Oh, yes, it
in
was.
front of me. Old school, yo. The, and I forget I'm getting recorded. But I'm on television.
There you
Okay, let's see. So here it is. Tax collector report. She, I don't think she submitted the. Okay, so nonetheless, it's a different format, but I'm just trying to quickly familiarize myself with it. So they collected, this is for the month of August, obviously. Collected 31,496. And on delinquent taxes, we collected 11,200. So there's no running total, but that's all right. Can I entertain a motion to approve?
So move, Judge.
I have a motion by Commissioner De La Paz to approve. Can I entertain a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner. Well, it was a tie. Second by Commissioner Tijerina. Any more discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Line item number 30, review of special claims. Is that what we're saying?
No, that's just a review, Judge.
All right, just a review. Number 31, review monthly reports on jail count. Last time I checked, we got 84. It was 84, 85. Employee overtime. As you know, commissioners, I had asked to have a meeting last Wednesday, in particular at the jail. Nobody showed up. Mr. Rivera apologized to me, but he said he was instructed to not, to let it ride.
He was instructed.
Yeah.
By who?
Well, the chair, that, just to let it. So
I've been.
we don't have a employee monthly report.
Can we talk about the overtime real quick?
Yeah, sure.
I've been looking at it. I haven't even gotten to the jail. There's one in particular. I'm not going to mention any names, but it shows that, unless I'm reading this wrong, it's employee 1043. That on the 16th they worked 50 hours.
Overtime?
Yeah. I must be reading it wrong.
What page is that?
No, I'm not sure. It's in the sheriff's department, deputy side.
And what number was it, 01?
1043.
1043. Oh, Ms. Carmen's here. She might be able to give you better answers for that. I'm sorry, but their overtime. Okay, that was paid for
Pero lo que no me gusta que lo veo.
the hours for one day. Oh, that's what he's asking.
So you're asking about which one?
He said it was 1043
4-3. Yeah, 4.
is the employee number.
Page 3.
Oh, it's on page 3.
Oh, it's a typo or what?
I'm trying to get there.
Yeah, it's not easy to get there.
Yes.
Matter of fact, I lost
Page 3.
it. I believe so, yeah.
On top it says page 3.
I think it might be page 4. Oh,
I'm trying to see if I can find it so I can. Here it is.
Page 4.
I found it. Oh, yeah. I'll show you. It might be easier. It's this one up here. It says $50.
Yeah, it's probably a typo. Oh no, it's 15.
And it looks like that's county overtime.
Yeah, it might have been maxed out, but 15. That sounds.
It looks like quite a few of them worked on that 16th. It was a Friday.
Let me check in the system.
Well, I mean, that's just something to look at.
Mm-hmm.
You don't mind looking at it later on so we don't get held up because we got other things to do.
You got monthly reports?
Is it 50 because it's time and a half?
I have no idea.
No.
It just says 50.
No,
It's
if it's
50.
paid out at overtime rate, it would be the 50 hours.
I think that was the question, was like a 50-hour and an 8-hour, a 24-hour period
Yeah, and then right after that is 6 hours. 6 more hours for Border Star.
for the same day.
Yes, ma'am. Well, hold on now.
Yeah, it might have been a typo.
That's a typo because it says it was accumulated 8/16/2025.
Right.
Oh, yeah,
That
that
was
was
probably a typo on that one.
So it might be a typo.
And usually what we do, it's not that he worked the 50 in that day. What happens is that we record the OT that gets paid out on the last pay period ending day. So I want to say,
that makes sense.
For that pay period.
For the pay period.
let me double check. It was not
And that's county OT though, right?
correct.
It's a lot of OT.
Probably maxed out already.
Right.
So then they're maxed out, they're paying it out already.
Unless it had something to do with the trial or something going on, you know. I don't know. Anyway, we'll just look at it later on.
All right.
Yeah, and 8/16 was a Friday.
There's
So
several of them
it would
on that
make
day.
sense if that's a pay period, right?
Judge,
Is there any other?
she brought the monthly reports. I'm sorry, Judge, I don't know if y'all, I did that in case y'all had already.
The monthly reports.
Oh.
You had tabled them?
We
You
came
tabled
up, but can we,
Yeah, we're still in the same meeting, so you can make a motion to reopen to,
the motion?
right, to vacate the motion, yeah, to withdraw the motion,
Let it withdraw.
rescind it.
Okay, who made the motion?
Ingenina Garcia.
So I retract my motion to line item number 26 of the approval of the monthly report.
Okay, I'm gonna withdraw the motion.
I withdraw my second.
All right, so back to line item number 26, approval of monthly report. The neighbors.
Do I need to keep them here? Commissioner, or do I send them all to you? Yeah,
Same good time.
Christmas in August, September.
Really?
So moved it.
Motion by Commissioner La Paz to approve the
Second.
monthly report, second by Commissioner Garcia. Any more discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, same sign, motion carried. Line item number 33, confer with Commissioner's Court on legal counsel. Do we have anything?
Nothing on my part, but I think we can save it for the next meeting if there's something that comes up.
Okay, can I get a motion to take no action on line item 33 and 34?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner
Second.
Garcia, second by Commissioner Fiorina. Any more discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, same sign, motion carries. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved to adjourn.
I have a motion by Commissioner Fiorina, second by Commissioner De La Paz. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, same sign, motion carries. Thank you, Commissioner. Now we go, and this should be pretty quick type of thing. Where's Jesus?
He's coming.
So we can, we're done.
Commissioner Garcia, if you have a question on that, she has an answer for you now for after the meeting.